If you stop working out this season, I promise you're gonna get hurt. I've seen this happen so many times to some of the guys that come into our facility. They come into the season feeling strong, the off-season work that has paid off, got the velo up, and everything's feeling good, feeling sharp. Then a month into the season, things start to slip a little bit. Body starts feeling sluggish, fastball doesn't have the same life to it, and then there's aches and pains that start creeping in. By the time the playoffs roll around, you're gassed, your performance drops, recovery's taking longer, and what started as a strong season is just a grind now to even stay on the field. What's the reason for this? You stop training. Most players think in-season training is about maintaining, but if you're not training with a plan, you're actually gonna be getting worse. And if you're getting worse, your risk of injury is gonna skyrocket. That's why we're gonna walk you through exactly how to structure your in-season training so you're not just surviving throughout the season, but you're actually gonna be improving throughout the entire season. Where do you start? For pitchers, everything's gonna revolve around your start day. That's gonna be your peak exertion day, and everything else needs to be structured to build you up to that moment. Let's say you're a starting pitcher and Saturday's your mound day. This means your entire week, your throwing, your recovery, your lifting, needs to be built around that day so you feel your best. If you're someone that likes to throw a midweek bullpen, that's probably gonna land on Wednesday, and that's gonna be your second highest exertion day of the week. So what about the rest of the week? This is where most guys are gonna get lost. They either do too much too early and burn out and lose their edge by the end of the week. So let's break it down. Monday is when we're gonna start, that's when the work begins. Coming off of a Sunday recovery day, Monday is when you're gonna get back to work, your arms should be feeling fresh, so this is probably gonna be a light to moderate throwing day, nothing crazy, just to get things moving around again. In the gym, this is one of your best chances to push an adaptation. This is the furthest point from your start, meaning that we can train speed and power at a relatively high intensity without worrying too much about the onset fatigue. High intent plyometrics, you're thinking like a broad jump to a box jump, anything rotational, dynamic movements that's gonna keep your body explosive without overloading it. This is a big day. You're not just maintaining, but you're actually still trying to make some gains. Tuesday, you're prepping for your bullpen the following day on Wednesday. This is gonna be a lighter throw, nothing that's gonna take away from your bullpen, but you're just trying to move that arm around, get some blood flow through it to prep for Wednesday. In the gym, we're thinking low impact, but effective. ISOs, low intent plyometrics, we're working on tissue and tendon health to keep the body durable, joints soft and pliable, without breaking yourself down too much. Wednesday, this is your bullpen day. We're gonna put a lot of effort into that throwing session so we can get the most out of it while we're dialing in command, execution, feel, and intent. Once that's done, this is where we can get a heavy strength day in so we can still push that adaptation of force production. You're not gonna be maxing out by any means, but heavy compound movements like a squat, a split squat, a deadlift, this is a day where you can chase that and really feel some weight. You don't get weaker in season just because it's the season. You get weaker because you stop training. Thursday, this is gonna be a big recovery day to prep you again for your start on Saturday. This is where your body might be feeling a little bit of the effects of training, but this is where a lot of guys can mess up and keep pushing too hard. Here's a day that we wanna do something and not just nothing. We wanna get some blood flow to stimulate recovery throughout our body. Active recovery, a light throw for some guys, depending on how you feel. Blood flow work in the gym, you're thinking band movements, cable movements, body weight stuff, again, to get the joints and tissues moving around and recovering. This is also a day you can do some zone 2 cardio, whether it's a bike, a run, anything that's just gonna stimulate your body for recovery. Friday is our final tune-up, getting ready for that start the next day. We don't wanna feel sluggish going into that start, so today we're focusing on priming. Throwing light is just gonna get you feeling good for that start. We don't wanna fatigue ourselves too much. In the gym, we're focusing on low volume, high intensity to get that neural activation. This means we're gonna be focusing on an overcoming isometric like a pin squat or an explosive concentric movement like a sled push. We don't want to do any slow eccentrics with excessive volume because that's where we're going to be damaging the tissues and that's where we're going to feel a lot of that fatigue. We want to focus on fast, powerful movements to wake up that nervous system so when you walk out of the gym, you're feeling locked in and ready to go for the next day. Saturday, we're at game day. Everything that you did this week has built up to this moment. You're feeling sharp, explosive, and ready to dominate your competition. Once the game's over, the work's not done. Hopefully you pitched well, but we need to get back in the gym and focus on that next start day and start preparing now. The pitching you just did, it does tax your nervous system heavily, but we don't want to just shut down after throwing. Otherwise, we could be missing out on a key opportunity to really drive an adaptation like some of the other previous heavier days. This is where a post-game arm care routine really comes into play. Driving some strength and energy back into the shoulder, the arm, whether it's band-specific work, weight training, any exercise that's gonna help your body feel reset to start the next week. Sunday, rest and recharge. However, we still need to focus in the gym about flushing out the damage from the game the day before. Some guys prefer to take the entire day off, and that's fine. But if you want to recover faster, the best thing you can do is get some blood flow similar to what we did on Thursday. Again, any light mobility work, band work, light cable work, cardio can make a real huge difference into starting your next week off on the right foot. Again, the goal is going to be simple. We're trying to get oxygen and nutrients to the damaged tissue to stimulate some faster recovery. I know we just covered a lot and some of it might be confusing for you. Making adjustments based on your game schedule, whether it's the weather, daily life, social life, schoolwork, it can be tricky and really throw you out of whack. That's why we put together 2 free weeks of training custom to you. All you have to do is start by answering a few questions so we can get a better idea of who you are, where you're from, and what you actually need. From there, you'll get access to a 2-week free custom remote program that's full of lifting, throwing, and arm care, and full access to a veloU coach. If this sounds like you need to click the top link in the description to start your 2 weeks free now.